Hey friends, happy Earth Week, and in honor of the Earth, I am doing this Facebook Live on how we can honor our planet, our Mother Earth, things we can do to support it and prevent it from getting lost sooner versus later, and possibly even healing it. So let's just start with humans. Humans are not the most important or the most intelligent, but we are the species that can alter the environment without directly feeling or realizing the effects of our actions. Did you ever think about that? So what we do affects our planet, all the species on our planet, and possibly even other planets due to the technology that might have made our lives easier originally and more convenient, but in the end, it will destroy us and all of life as we know it in the process. And the difference between human colonies and other ecological colonies like bees, for example, is the ego. So we need to get out of our ego's way, get rid of our egos completely, and be more aligned with our thoughts, our intentions, and our actions with that of our Creator. So if you have a spiritual connection, you'll know that our Creator created us just like it created the earth and the stars and the sun and every living creature and every plant possible. So if that is true, then we really know better than any of those, but we have really done a lot of damage because of our ego and our thoughts that we are so much more evolved and that what we do doesn't matter to the planet because all that matters is us, right? And that's where we got in trouble, and it's really a problem, and we must pay attention to it now, because if we don't, it's going to get bad, much worse, very quickly. So living at this time is truly a privilege, but we have a very serious responsibility, because as far as I'm concerned, humans are the stewards of the earth. We were given the power, the knowledge, and the abilities to care for our planet, just as we have also destroyed it in many ways. And our planet is very delicate. Everything we do and every little process affects every other one. And in order for us to have a balance to our ecosystem, our goal is, or my goal at least, is really to leave it better than we came to it, right? Better than we found it. If that can be everyone's goal at this point, because we can't make it any worse at this point, we have to make it better. So if we can leave it at least the way we found it and really try to leave it in better shape, then we're already stepping up to the plate of making the difference that we really need to do right now. So I've always had a very deep appreciation of nature. Although I was born in Brooklyn and I lived in cities for a great part of my life, I've always loved nature. And when we built our home, when I was raising our children, we built it next to the woods, next to wetlands where they couldn't do anything, any building on it, because I wanted to be able to have that connection to look out at the woods every day or be close enough to look into it and just feel that serenity and that connection to the trees and to the wildlife. And I was very lucky to have that opportunity. But what I've noticed, and even though we have a very small piece of land in our home office in Jersey, is that the condition of the woods and the forests, which are getting smaller and smaller, is also getting sicker and sicker. The trees look really unhealthy. They're falling down constantly. All the wildlife looks almost swollen, like the birds look unhealthy, and the deer are so skinny they look like they can hardly walk, but they just keep reproducing, and they have less and less resources to live off of because we keep using pesticides and chemicals on our properties that are taking away all the wildlife and all the insects that are vital for the pollination and for the food to be produced, not just for us, but for the wildlife that we so cherish and appreciate living in, in the suburbs, okay? So what we really need to do is care for our little piece of land, and in doing that, we can actually make a difference, because if everyone cares for their piece of land, then think about it, then the earth will be cared for and saved. So, do you want to be part of the problem, which is the loss of resources and the sickness of our land and our earth, or do you want to be part of the solution? My hope is that you want to be part of the solution. Every action you take, which starts with a thought, can either help or hurt the planet. Some of the resources that are being diminished and are coming to extinction unless we do something are water, trees, clean air, soil, wildlife, pollinators, different species, energy resources, fruits and vegetables and plants that are free of chemicals and genetic modification, the sun, and a stable climate. The things you can do to honor the earth, not just today or this week on Earth Week, is really every day we can do something and many things to honor the earth and to help make it a healthier place, not just for ourselves, but for all the wildlife around us, as well as our children and their children and their children. I think the first thing really is to bring some kind of a connection to yourself with nature. And all that really involves is stepping outside and showing gratitude by saying thank you to the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, the clouds, the trees, the birds, the bees, the flowers, and the weeds. Because remember, weeds or flowers, humans decided that they're not good flowers or they're not good plants. But honestly, those weeds are very important for the soil and for pollinators. And by killing those weeds, we're actually destroying the microbiome, the very essence of the soil that we need to have a healthy planet. They all have a very intricate purpose and balance, and when we disturb them, sickness happens. Just like our bodies, when it gets out of balance or interfered with, we get sick. So everything we do parallels the planet, and everything we give back parallels us and our health. So number one would be really to connecting to nature and start building that connection and just listening and observing and smelling and feeling and touching, grass and everything that's natural around you. Number two would be stop using pesticides on your lawn. So stop using chemical insecticides inside and outside your home. The pollinators, which you may not realize, but every insect actually plays a role in pollination, are the following: bees of all kinds, moths, butterflies, all insects. They need to be welcome to your land so that they can collect and spread pollen to other plants, flowers, trees, beehives, so that we can have an abundance of plants which are food for the wildlife and for us humans. Directly and indirectly, how we treat the earth and our environment will directly or indirectly affect our very health, because we are part of the earth. Number 3, use less electricity by turning off lights and unplugging things when you're not using them. Number 4, use less water. Did you know that flushing the toilet is the most wasteful water practice that homeowners do? So maybe you don't have to flush every time you go, but let it, fill up a little bit and only flush once in a while or when completely necessary. Buy less clothes, plastic items, chemical cleaning products, and processed food items, and especially single-use items. Only buy organic, locally grown, grass-fed, and wild food, and items that support your local farms. We always want to support our local farms because they're using hopefully no chemicals on their foods and on their soil, and that's going to keep us healthy and the planet healthy. Turn off your router at night and unplug your technology every day for an hour or more, because this is giving you a chance to actually connect with your higher power, with yourself and with the planet, and it's also good for the environment, and it's giving you an opportunity to spend time to really connect with nature. Plant any kind of garden using organic soil or compost, any kind of garden, a potted garden, an herb garden, a hydroponic garden, or just a regular garden in your backyard. It can be really small, or you can, start learning more and more and make it larger and larger with time. Start a compost, either a pile, or you can get a compost unit online, and I could share with you if you're interested one that I got that works really well. You can even just make your own by using pallets and just putting your stuff, your used food and vegetables that instead of throwing it in the garbage, put it in the compost and then throw leaves on it and hay on it and branches, and then just keep layering it. And then you have to, mix it up and aerate it. There are compost units that you can just leave and not do anything to that work really well. And if you want that information, I could share it with you. It's a lot easier. I have one in Jersey that I like a lot. But it's a really great way to repurpose waste and not add more trash to the environment and to the land. Get an energy audit by your electric company. Usually they are free, and they'll tell you where you have leaks of energy, where you maybe are losing more energy, and where you can insulate or what your insulation is like. And, maybe you could cover your windows or use fans, like ceiling fans instead of air conditioning. There's lots of things you can do to help reduce your use of power and energy in your home. Keep your thermostat at 66 all year long, okay? So when you're turning it off and turning it on, you're actually using a lot more power, and that's worse for the environment and for your energy bill. Buy in bulk to avoid overpackaging. Pick up trash when you see it on the ground, and teach your kids not to throw garbage on the ground. It really hurts me when I see garbage all over the beautiful town that I live in, or any town in that matter. If I see it on the road, even on the highway, it makes me so sad, and it's such an unnecessary thing to do. So I think teaching our children to respect the earth and to care for it is such an important thing, because that's what they're going to have when you're gone, is a planet that hopefully is healthier than it is now. Reuse your clothes, your shoes, your home products, and you can do like friend swaps, right? Swapping clothes and other items that you don't want anymore, but it might be something that your friends or neighbors exactly what they needed, and now they don't have to go out and buy something and add more waste to the environment. So one man's garbage is another man's treasure. You've heard that. Or trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So why don't you see if your trash could be a friend's treasure or family members? Share resources with friends and neighbors. Maybe you're really good at growing something and they're really good at growing something else, or you have an abundance of something and they have an abundance. So instead of everybody trying to get their stuff, try to, share your resources. Reduce travel pollution. So carpool when possible, walk, ride bikes, and use public transportation. And even just using the stairs instead of an elevator is a great thing for your body and for the energy of the earth. Dispose of products and donate products. But when you dispose of things, make sure you're doing it as required by the borough that you live in, because certain things like medications can really make our water sicker, and computers and paints and bulbs and things like that, we really have to find out the right way to dispose of them so as to help our planet. Get some hummingbird feeders or bird feeders. I mean, if you live in certain areas where there's a lot of bears, you don't want to have your feeders out on your ground because it will attract bears. But if you're in the suburbs and there's not many, then bring the birds to your home and feed them and show them that you love them, and you will get so many gifts by seeing them around your home. And they are pollinators and they are helping the earth and spreading pollen, which is helping us in so many ways. Don't get rid of your weeds. Leave your weeds, as they attract pollinators. Things like dandelions and clover. There's so many things that we consider weeds that are actually the most wonderful treasures for bees and butterflies and wasps, not wasps, but moths and other insects. And even wasps have a purpose in the cycle of life. So everything that you think is bad, all the insects that you don't like, actually have a very important purpose in that ecosystem balance. So just, it's good to be aware of that. And there's really no bad insects or bad animals. There just may not be good for you at this time, but that doesn't mean you need to kill them off, okay? Because they're very important for the balance of nature. Use as few chemicals as possible in your life. So you want to replace all chemical substances that you use for cleaning with natural substances. For example, if you're going to clean your drains, instead of using Drano, you can use baking soda and vinegar. You can use essential oil-based cleaners. Like orange oil is really great to break down things. It breaks down sticky stuff, and many cleaners have orange oil or lemon oil in them. Use beauty products that are earth-friendly, which will be also body-friendly. Hey, all you buggies. And use energy-efficient appliances, or just do things by hand like our grandparents used to do. Maybe get a clothesline instead of using a dryer, and let your clothes be waving in the wind, and you'll have that smell of fresh air on your clothes. Get educated on which companies are harming the planet and which are helping, and only support those companies that are earth friendly. So a great site is EWG.org. They have so many amazing resources for the health of humans as well as the planet. They have, they tell you what sunscreens are good for you and the waters. They have a Skin Deep site in there, which shows which skin products are good for you and for the planet. They have a list of the dirty dozen and the clean dozen, which are for, things that have less or minimal pesticides versus a lot of pesticides. So you always want to go with the clean dozen. It'll tell you how to test your tap water to see how good your tap water is, because water is very important. And then some of the companies that I really don't like that are hurting us are Telecom. They are making the 5G cell towers, which these towers are very dangerous to us and to the environment and really causing cancer, but no one knows about this because they don't want you to know. Kellogg's has so many chemicals. Many of the Kellogg's products, like Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its, they have forever chemicals in them, which means that they don't break down in our bodies and they don't break down in the environment, and they cause cancer and other autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. So go online, look up these companies, and go to ewg.org. They have a EWG verified foods and products also that you can keep track of and, support those companies, because we want to always support companies that are supporting our planet. Use healthcare that's earth friendly. So chiropractic, and I'm a chiropractor, is completely earth friendly. We use our hands, and some of us use instruments, but with the minimal, electrical or energy source. And we're not adding anything to the body or taking anything away. We're just helping the body work better. And that's really what you want. But other holistic healing modalities like naturopathy and homeopathy are great. Herbal medicine is great. And you can have an herb garden, and start making your own herbal tinctures or putting herbs in your foods and your drinks that are so nourishing to your health, like peppermint and oregano and lavender. So just having an herb garden can be so supportive of your health. The earth is your mother, your home. Your very life depends on its health. And if we all saved our little piece of the earth, then the earth would be saved. I wanted to just share with you just a couple of things I brought out to show you that are really good things for you and for the planet. One of them is CBD oil, because CBD uses hemp and phytocannabinoids to reduce inflammation in our body, and it's grown on the same planet as us in such great abundance, and it's grown so easily that we know we have all these receptors in our body because we're designed to use cannabis and hemp and CBD type products to help us with our health. So you try those out, and if you need help in figuring out how to use them, I'll be happy to. And I actually even make my own CBD products now. I'm getting more into that with time, but I'd be happy to help you with that if you need help with that. Crystals are part of our earth, and they have energy just like everything has energy. So you can learn more about crystals. There's lots of people out there. Arc Crystals with Amanda Garcia. She's got a great company, and she is always teaching about crystals. Just go online or even just go into a store that has crystals and just feel the energy and see if it calms you or if it makes you more energized. Start taking your own utensils with you. This company is called To Go Ware, and they're made of bamboo, and straws are really bad for the environment because they get stuck in fish and all that. But if you can get a glass straw with a little straw cleaner in one of these kits, you could just take it with you and use it. It has chopsticks and it's super lightweight. It has, a spoon, a fork, and a knife. And I just keep it in my purse, and this way I don't ever have to use plastic utensils. Any kind of herbal remedy that comes from a company, this is MediHerb, that is completely natural and supportive of the earth. All of MediHerb's products are made in, I think, New Zealand, and they're made very consciously to support the land. And this is a throat spray that I absolutely love. It just feels so good in my throat, and it's got herbs like marshmallow and sage and calendula and echinacea and myrrh and clove. Essential oils. So doTERRA, I love doTERRA. Here's one of their products. It's their yoga collection, and it's just an example of essential oils are coming from the plants. They're the oil or the fatty part of the plant, and it has a very concentrated phytonutrient dense effect on our bodies. And also we can use them in a diffuser to clean our air and to help our respiratory passages. We can use them on our body. They help balance our energy, because certain things uplift us, like citrus oils, and then certain things energize us, like mint oils, and then certain oils calm us, like lavender oil. So it's about to rain out here, which means I have to end this talk. But I want to thank you so much for listening, and I hope I helped, bring some enthusiasm to you and to inspire you to do something good today, not just for the planet, but for yourself and for your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and your nephews, your brothers and your sisters, your animal friends and your plant friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye.